What's up, guys? It's Austin with the Crypto Siphon, coming at you with another video with the charts. Let's siphon some crypto out of this market, guys. All right, so let's take a look and see what's going on. Now, everybody's been calling for another drop, and everyone's actually, I shouldn't say that. People are on the fence right now. Right now, there's a very mixed emotional sentiment in the market, which to me is a bit of a flag. We'll get into that. But some people are saying that it's going to drop to 3,000. Some people are saying this is a time for a reversal. We're going to the moon. Guys, don't get caught up in the FOMO. Don't get caught up in being a perma bull or being a perma bear. Just be neutral. That's the best thing that you can do. Just try to have a clear head, look at the market with a clear rationale, and think about what you can do to prepare for any situation. That's the first thing everyone should be thinking about. Don't think about, oh, if I place this trade and I can make this much money, or oh, if I short right now, the market looks going to go down, I can make $1,000. No, don't think about that, guys. Think about what you can do to preserve your capital, because let's be honest here, you haven't gained anything unless you have something in the bank. So, your goal here is to keep what you have, guys. Keep the money you have. Don't gamble the market if you don't know what's going on. So let's take a look at the charts. Now, my first inclination when we started going, making the downward trend from high 9,900s, 10,000, let's just call it, I first initially was thinking, you know what? This is looking like we might be following a bit of a falling wedge, right? And some people might have had the same inclination too, and that's not necessarily wrong, because there are some arguments on both sides to support both sides of the market. Some people are looking at the bearish side and some people are looking at the bullish side. Now let's look at the bullish side here, guys. If we are in this falling wedge, that's a very bullish situation we would have ourselves in. That's a very bullish pattern. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. This is just looking at the market from both sides, and you need to be unbiased. So in a falling wedge situation, what you have is a squeezing, just like you see here, of the price, where it's a triangle that's pointing downward, and it's squeezing the price closer and closer and closer, and that price basically is building up momentum. It's building up pressure. It's like you're putting a top on a pressure cooker. Eventually it's going to blow. And typically this type of pattern is very bullish. You'd have something just like these arrows here where maybe you go up, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly when you get down to the 7th point, that's when you have your major reversal. And that would be a very good scenario for everybody. Do I think that's the likely scenario? I can't really say, guys. Honestly, I don't see that as being the most likely scenario at the moment. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. But the way things are looking right now, I'm not 100% convinced of that. So just today, let me look in the hourly. Let's take a look at the hourly chart here. We're in basically like a bear flag, guys. We're in another bear flag. What is this, like the fifth or sixth bear flag we've been in? Yeah, some people were saying that it was more of like a wedge, like an ascending wedge, but I'm not really sure if that's the case. I kind of see it more as continuously being in a bear flag. I'm kind of thinking that we might actually take another trip to the top. If this is really a bear flag, take a trip to the top, and then we might spill over if that is going to be the bearish scenario. But let's not talk about that just yet. But we made a drop yesterday. But the thing that I'm paying attention to, and this is just me looking at this from, if there is bullish momentum, do I see some signs? The answer is yes. Yes, I do. There are some signs. The signs that I'm looking at is, we had a low here, around 57, what is that, 75 or 57.80. But we came down, we broke bearish yesterday, we came out of the pattern that we were in, and now we've made a higher low, which is technically, that's a good thing. That's that's a one sign you should take note of. That doesn't mean that you should go in the market and start placing huge trades. No, that just means that, okay, let me make a mental note of this. Okay, we made a higher low. Okay, that's fine. Is there anything else I can take a look at? The other things I'm looking at here is on the RSI. Yes, we're making upticks, even though, we're basically going sideways at the moment. Okay, that's can be seen as a sign of strength. We're looking at the MACD. We had a cross on the hourly chart, guys. This is. We had a cross yesterday. What was that? Yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, I think it was. And right after we had the drop, that was when the MACD started ticking upwards, and we started getting some bullish momentum, quote unquote. We saw a bullish cross on the MACD. Now, guys, like I said, this doesn't mean that we're going up to 10,000. We're going to the moon, guys. Don't be putting on your spacesuits yet. But it's something to take note of. When you're looking at the market, when you're doing technical analysis, guys, you cannot be biased. You have to look at this from a neutral standpoint. Which side does it make more sense for the market to do right now? And it's not all technical analysis either. There are some fundamental analysis aspects that you can do with this market as well that will help you make successful trades. Now, looking at this, yes, we made a higher low. We do see the RSI ticking up. We see the MACD ticking up, which is good. We see a bullish divergence on the MACD, which is good. We also had this morning when I woke up, I saw that we had, I guess you can call this like a very large spinning top. And a spinning top can be a sign of a potential reversal. Now, that's not the case every time, guys. These are just little things that you take note of. But as it stands, we're still below the moving averages. We're still below the 100-day. We're still below the 200-day. We're still below the 55 moving average. So technically, yes, we still are bearish. So there's not really anything that tells me right now that I need to immediately get into a trade because we're about to go up. I just don't see that as being the case right now. But I don't think that things are completely bearish. I don't think that there is a lack of hope in the market. One thing that is noteworthy is that we have been seeing the volume decrease over time, which some people would say is bearish, which it can be taken that way. But when if this pattern is correct, if we are in a falling wedge, then this goes exactly along with what we're talking about. What we would want to see would be descending volume. Now that's from the bullish scenario, guys. The bullish scenario is we come down, we have our higher low right now, and we start making our way up the pattern somewhere towards 73 to 7,500. We might get a little bit of a rejection when we hit the top, and we might go all the way, break out of the pattern at that point. Or we will get rejected at the top, go back down to the bottom of the pattern, which is what most people call the demand zone, which is where we're testing the market. We're testing the support zones, and that's where we might get this springboard effect, where we'll get a major reversal in the market. All that pressure and momentum that's been building up from being stuck in this pattern may send us out of the pattern, projecting us up towards somewhere above 10,000, which would be awesome. I mean, that'd be really great for the market. That would be a huge win. But that's not necessarily where I'm leaning towards right now. I'm not saying it's out of the question, because it's not. It could easily happen. But let's take a look at more of like the bearish scenario, the things that I notice from the bearish standpoint. Now, one of the first things that I see is that if we're looking at this chart, it doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily have to see this. If you're looking at it from an unbiased point, this could also be seen as a descending triangle. And for those of you who know what a descending triangle is, and for those of you that don't, a descending triangle is absolutely a bearish pattern, which typically means that you're going downward, you're getting squeezed this time, but there is a resistance level that you're bumping up against. So imagine as if you're trying to break, let's say you're trying to break down a door, right? You get locked out of your house trying to break down the front door. I know it sounds ridiculous. You're not going to break down your door, but let's just go along with the analogy, right? So every time that you hit that door, you get bounced off, right? The impact from that causes you to bounce off. So what do we have here? We have a point of resistance. We come back, we hit this, and we get a huge projection upwards, right? Which is fine. Now we come back down off of our massive spike that we had, or bubble, whatever anybody wants to call it. And now we come back to test that resistance again. Now notice, the next time you go to hit that door, the door's weakened, which means that it's not going to project you as far. So we hit the door and we go up this time to 11 or 12, or just under 12,000, right? Come back down again. This time we get real close. We try and test that area, that 6,000-ish, 6,500 area. We get hit back again. We get another spike towards the top. This time making a lower high. Now every time we bang on that door is weakening. It is going to give us a smaller and smaller push up to the point where, just like in real life, if you were to ram a door that's really weak, eventually you're going to break the door, right? What happens when you break the door? You get a massive capitulation effect. And that's kind of what is scaring me right now with the market. I shouldn't say scaring me, but it is something that we should all be cognizant of, is that we've tested this point, and when you've tested a point 2, 3, 4 times, eventually it's going to break, guys. And we have gotten a small break below it. We've gotten as far as 57.80, or what is it, 57.75, whatever the case may be. Eventually, if this is a bearish scenario, if we are looking at something more of a descending triangle, we will break that barrier and we will get sent down if this is the case. And it's not going to be pretty, guys. You think right now that the trip from 10,000 down to 6,000 has been rough. This is nothing. What we're going to be looking at would be a massive capitulation effect, which is where we would have a very large sell-off. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go to $500, guys. That's not what I'm saying. However, it would typically tend to be a very quick drop. So I'm thinking something like going from 6,000, maybe we might take a little trip up back here to 6,400, and then we could have a very quick trip down to below 5,000. And it could be even lower than that. But I see us getting a nice reversal before we get that low, because we're about due for a decent reversal. Now, there's something I want you guys to take note of. When we, these are the longs that are in Bitcoin. And these are all the people that, these are all the perma bulls. These are all the people that are going in long right now because they see the triple bottom that we've made, and they're seeing that as a bullish sign, and they're taking that sign in order to cue them to do a trade. Not saying that's wrong, not saying that's right. In my opinion, this is kind of a risky situation. This is a no trade zone. For me, this is a zone where I wouldn't typically trade in because there's a high probability to be wrong, because nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen right now. But these are the longs. These are all the people buying Bitcoin right now. Now, if you look, these are the shorts. These are the people shorting Bitcoin. Now, if you first looked at this giant ass candle right here, I don't know if you guys noticed that huge red candle, that is a short squeeze. That's from the last time that we went down to 64 to 6,500, and that next, what was that, like the next day or so, or it was a couple days really, but we had that massive spike of about $1,000. We basically had that giant, lightsaber effect from that green candle, and we shot up about $1,000 to $1,200, which was crazy. But that effect comes from when everybody's shorting Bitcoin. Everyone was seeing 6,500. We're coming down from 7,000. Everybody and their mother, all the retail traders, all of just us regular folk are out there shorting Bitcoin, saying that they think that Bitcoin is going to go much lower than 6,500 or 6,000. And that's back when everybody was calling 3,000, right? So what happens is when you get that effect, you can get what's called a short squeeze. Since there's that many shorts built up in the market, it could be a bot, it could be a whale, it could be whatever. Somebody with a very large account, can come in and they can basically place a massive market order that causes a cascading effect, forcing everybody's shorts to turn into longs. And this is exactly the effect that you get. You get this huge candle, in this case is a shorts, but we got this huge spike here from, 6,700-ish up to almost 8,100, 88,000 or so. So that's a tactic that can be used to get the market to reverse. Not really sure I see that happening right now. There's just not enough shorts for that to happen. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you guys notice, this time around, we don't have, what was that? Over 40,000 shorts on the market on Bitcoin right now. That's just not the case. Now, I did draw this cup and handle pattern here. I'm just kind of roughly align that real quick. It was me messing around, but if this is a cup and handle kind of pattern, it could mean that we might see a lot more shorts. Not really sure if that's true. This is just me being completely speculative at the moment. But as of right now, I don't see a short squeeze having the ability to project us up as high as this one did, to bring us out from this bearish scenario. It's just not likely. Now, if we get a huge, massive spike of shorts in the market and we're all the way back over, 38,000, 40,000 shorts, then yeah, absolutely. We might see another massive short squeeze, which would be good for a reversal in the market. But right now, I'm not really seeing that. If this pattern is correct, and it is a cup and handle pattern that we're looking at here, then yeah, we may see a massive surge in shorts, but that could also mean that we might see Bitcoin tank too. So I'm not really sure if these shorts are going to be projected upward unless Bitcoin starts going downward. So that would mean the market would already have to continue to drop in order for this scenario to play out. So that's the bit of a bullish and the bearish scenario. There's another chart. Here we go. This is an interesting chart. This is, don't mind my Elliott waves that I drew there. They're probably wrong. I'm just messing around to see what the wave patterns look like. But this is a chart of Bitcoin, believe it or not. If you guessed it, you're pretty good. What this is an inverted chart of Bitcoin. It kind of brings things to light a little more. It makes you realize where we're at and how the bearish scenario is a likely scenario. I'm not saying it's 100%, but it's likely. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But this right here, like I said, is the inverted image of the Bitcoin chart. Now, if this image were true and this was an actual, this was the pattern that we were in on the regular Bitcoin chart, guys, this would be a massively bullish pattern. Huge. And ascending triangle is a massive bullish pattern. This is when you have a point of resistance, just like the door scenario, except the opposite, that you continually hit, and every time you hit that, you have a higher chance of breaking through it if the market continues to trend upward. So just like we have the opposite of the descending triangle, we have the ascending one every time we go up. In this case here, we tried to penetrate that, but that's us hitting it for the first time, right, as resistance. Now we came back down, tried it again, tried it again, tried it again. But this is an extremely bullish pattern if this was the real normal Bitcoin chart that we're looking at. But since it's not, it's bearish, guys. If this is what we're really looking at, it's a very bearish scenario. It's a very bearish chart. And I'm looking at, if we do break this 5,800, 6,000 range and we have a massive downward trend, then yeah, I'm looking at we're probably not going to see any kind of reversal till at least somewhere between 5,500 to 4,800. That's where we would be looking to make a decent reversal. So, guys, the market's still looking bearish. The market is not looking like we want to trend upwards. There's, in my mind, just from a fundamental standpoint of you guys, if you have a massive sell-off, typically in bear markets, if you're in a bear market, you can tell if there's going to be a reversal. If just like before, remember when we were getting, we were down at 6,000, we were thinking everyone was saying we're going to go down to 6,000. Everybody was saying we're going to go down to 3,000. Everyone was crying, Bitcoin's dead. That's it. It's over. You're in a bubble. It's over, guys. Done. Get out. Hide your kids, hide your wife, grab your children. I mean, like literally, everybody was just saying the market was dead. It wasn't true. You go on CNBC and they have all these videos and all these people, newscasters saying Bitcoin's dead. The regulation's coming. They're gonna, just completely abolish crypto and all this stuff, right? That is the time when you should start looking for a reversal. When there's blood in the streets, you start looking for a reversal. Right here, guys, right now, that's not what I'm seeing. There is far too many bullish sentiment news coming out in order for me to think that there's a reversal coming. I mean, for instance, we have Bitcoin's not a security. Ethereum's not a security. We have all these huge people, these giant corporations that are investing, or supposedly investing in blockchain technology that are getting in. We have all these venture capitalists that are getting involved in, the crypto space. All these big traders are supposedly getting involved in the crypto space, and everyone's, it's just all fun and rainbows, right? Everyone's, oh, here comes the moon. We're going to go to 50,000 real soon here, guys. The market sentiment is way too bullish right now. I'm looking for when everyone is crying and everyone has lost out and everyone's saying that there's no hope and that there's blood in the streets. That's when I'm looking to see a reversal. That's when everyone is scared to death. That's when you start looking for the reversal to come. But right now, I just don't see that. There's too much bullish news. And the other thing is that you have to think about, if you're a large investor, guys, if you're a guy who has tens of millions of dollars, you have a massive hedge fund that you're looking to start trading with. You have $100 million or a $10 million hedge fund that you're looking to trade with. Are you going to start telling everybody that you're getting into the crypto space and, hey guys, come join me and trade. Please grab the prices at the same prices that I'm buying at right now. Please, guys, come. Everybody start buying. No, why would you do that? Because then you might not get the best price. That doesn't make any sense. If you are a large investor, you're going to get in on the market when there's blood on the streets and that you can guarantee that this is the lowest price. That everybody's thinking that they should get out. That's when you're getting in if you're a big time investor. Just like Warren Buffett always says, when there's fear in the market, when there's fear, you get greedy. And when there's greed, you get fearful. It's the same thing, guys. That's why right now I see more of a bearish sentiment, or I see a bearish scenario going on in this market, because there is just too many permabulls. There's too many people that are calling for a massive reversal, that are calling for a top. And even if we do get a reversal, guys, like I said, I'm not a perma bear. I'm not a guy who's completely bearish on crypto. I'm massively bullish on crypto. But when you're in a bear market, you're in a bear market. If you're below the 100 and 200 day average, those are clear-cut signs of entering in or being in a bear market, guys. And usually when you're in that kind of market, it takes a massive sell-off, something that is so large that it scares everybody out of the market into selling so that we can have a reversal. And I just don't see that right now. And what I'm looking for, I'm like you guys. I listen to a lot of different, investors. I listen to a lot of different traders, and I watch a lot of different channels. And, I agree with DataDash. He's been preaching it for a long time. Nicholas Merton, he says a Bitcoin ETF is what everybody's waiting for. Yes, absolutely. If I know the CBOE just announced they were trying to get another Bitcoin ETF, but if we had a Bitcoin ETF launched, then yes, absolutely, that could be huge for the crypto space. You would probably see Bitcoin at the highest it's ever been. You'd probably see it well over $20,000, guys, in a very short period of time. But we don't have that right now. We don't have any kind of massive news that's going to cause the market to reverse. Right now, we just have all these little tiny blips of good news, which is nice, but that's not really what we need for a reversal, guys. What was the other thing I wanted to look at? The bearish scenario, guys. Just kind of clarifying here, I think that if we were to continue to drop, we'd be looking at somewhere between 48 and 5K. That seems to me like it's where the market wants to extend to. If we are, and this is just something else to take note of, is that there's slight bearish divergence on the MACD there, but that's, I'm not going to pay too much attention at the moment, because obviously we are trending downward. But I think that if we're looking for a reversal, which could be really profitable for everybody, if we do get a decent reversal, we do have a large sell-off and we go from 6,000 down to 4,800 or whatever within a short period of time, then yeah, we could see a decent reversal towards 8,000 or something like that, maybe 7,500, which would be good. It could be massively profitable, especially if you're playing the altcoins. But right now, guys, I can't stress this enough. This is a no trade zone, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but just be safe, guys. Don't take any risky trades. Don't take any risky investments. Just kind of, play things the smart way. Get in your head with what you want to do if this happens or that happens. If things turn bullish, great. Have a plan in your head. What coins you want to get into. Where are you going to start looking to next? If the market turns extremely bearish and we go into a long-term, 2, 3, 4 more months of bearish market, what are you going to do? Do you have a plan for that? Are you just going to sit on the sidelines and be a hodler and get wrecked? Because let me tell you guys, hodling, you might get wrecked if you just keep hodling, guys. It's not necessarily the best strategy. There's a lot of people out there who are constantly preaching hodl, 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 but you know what? HODL's not necessarily making any money. And if the market has a prolonged bear period of 3 or 4 months up to a year, that's a pretty long HODL. And if you're just a regular retail investor, like most of us that are just trying to make, a decent gains on a daily basis or weekly basis, that's not something you typically can afford. Most people, invest a few $1,000s in the market, maybe a few $100s in the market, and they can't afford necessarily just to have a massive loss. So think about that, guys. What are you going to do if this is a very prolonged bear market? Start thinking of what is best for your situation. Anyways, guys, that's just my thoughts on the market. I do think it's possible to have a reversal, guys. I do. Do I think it's the most likely scenario right now? No, I do not. I see more bearish sentiment, and I see more room for there to be a larger downtrend, one more leg down at least. I see that. So don't just start jumping in head first. Think about what you're going to do before you do it, guys. Make sure you have a plan. And yeah, just try and be careful out there, guys. And there's a lot of guys out there doing, technical analysis, and they keep preaching this thing as if, all of a sudden tomorrow the market's going to be back at $10,000 or $15,000, guys. Stop listening to that. Stop being permabulls. Can the market reverse? Yes. Can the market downtrend? Yes. Be neutral. You guys need to flow with the market and have a plan for what you're going to do regardless. I cannot stress that not enough, guys. All right, guys. If you liked the video, smash up the likes, subscribe. I'll be coming out with more videos as much as I can, doing some technical analysis, giving you guys updates. If something dramatic happens, I'll make a video. I'll give you guys my opinion on what's going on. Remember, just my opinion, not financial advice, guys. Until next time, this is Austin from Crypto Siphon. Let's siphon as much crypto and money as we can out of this market, guys, while we have the opportunity. I'll see you guys next time.